Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday evening. In fact, it's Team Talk Tuesday. See, nothing in this program is given, minutes aren't given, trust isn't given, wins, they definitely aren't given. Everything here on Dogs Basketball is earned through preparation, through effort, and how we respond when it's hard. See, Team Talk Tuesday is our moment to lock in on what we need to earn this week. See, every week, at least every week, we try to have a game. Um, this week, we have a game down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where we're playing the SBC Elite Ballers. And we have an opportunity to continue to move up in the ranks. Right now, we're sitting in third place in our division, right behind the Richmond Ram Chargers, and who are in second place. And so we went down to Richmond. We lost to them. We didn't even have a full squad when we went down there, and so it was a different game that we weren't playing when we went down there. We were definitely just coming off of 2 or 3 weeks of not playing at all. So it definitely was different for us and unexpected. Ooh, excuse me. But on Team Talk Tuesday, right, we like to lock in. We like to focus our time and our effort on what's going to help us move forward and advance as a team. See, when we look at the dogs, we got to ask ourselves, how do we react to things that are in our control and to things that are out of our control? And see, one of the things that we look at, right, is what are things, like I said, that we can control and what are things that we can't control in the game. So you look at one, you can't control the refs. That's just the obvious. We will state the obvious. You cannot control the refs at all. You can't control the crowd, the fans. The fans are going to be into the game because this is a entertaining basketball team. It's a electrifying basketball team, right? So you can't control the crowd and how the crowd reacts to how you are playing basketball as a team or how you are playing a sport as a team. You can't control the opponent's attitudes and the mindset of the opponents at all. Because when the opponents come into that venue that you're playing, or you go into their venue, their mindset is, I got to win. And how can I win? How can I be better than those players that are coming into my home venue or that's coming into our court and try to beat us? You can't control the shots that you miss. Yeah, you might have the perfect form, you might have the perfect arch on, the ball or whatever the case may be, but you can't control whether the ball goes in or not. But you can be consistent with how you shoot the ball to help the ball go in. You can be consistent with attending practice. You can be consistent with how you have a daily routine to push forward. Right? And then when you look at those things that you can control, right? Like I said, you can control your effort. How much effort and talent are you putting out there? You can control the communication. Are you communicating on defense? Are you communicating to your teammates on offense? Hey, move, screen, whatever the case may be. Like, just communicate. You can control your body language. And when you're sitting on the sideline and how your body language says a lot more when you're not saying anything. Your body language is key. Like I said already, the defense, you can control the defense. You should be dictating where that ball goes if you're playing defense. You should be communicating on defense. You should be loud and proud on defense. The other thing is you got to have that dog mentality. You got to have that next play mentality. I know I said this before, but you got to be able to have that short-term memory loss and what that looks like. What does short-term memory loss look like? Good evening, everybody in the chat, and thank you guys for tuning in to our episode of Team Talk Tuesday, right? And once you go then, right, you listen to your coach. You listen to what the coach is saying, right? So if a coach talks, right, for example, if every team in this league has some sort of talent, the difference between those good teams and winning teams is control. How you guys are controlling the defense, how you guys are controlling the communication, how you guys are controlling the tempo of the game. It matters. It matters. We can't control the amount of minutes that you play. We can't control the calls that the referees make. And we can't control if the shots fall or not. But what we can control is how hard we run when we're on the floor, how loud we are on defense, right? How we respond when things don't go our way. Adversity. When it feels like the entire world is against you. When it feels like your back is against the ropes in the fourth quarter when you're down 3 with 30 seconds left. What you going to do? How you guys going to take control? See, as dogs, we don't complain. As dogs, we compete. See, and then you have to look at the mindset as well, right? Is if we lock in on the things that we can control, the game will eventually reward us. And what I mean by that is the game will become fun. The game will become electrifying. It will be energizing. It will get the crowd involved. You will come out with a W. But you gotta be putting in the time, the effort, and the hard work in order to reap the rewards of the game. You can't be that player that thinks he's just going to show up to a game and not show up to practice and get, 24 to 48 minutes of playing time. Unless your team is the worst team in the league, it's probably not going to happen at all. If you're on a decent team with a decent coach, that coach is going to sit you down until you start getting your act together. And that's when we talk about how we have to start worrying about the things that we can control and not about the things we can't control. Players, you got to be able to have that accountability. I said that before, right? But if you're not talking on defense, what does that accountability look like? If you're not sprinting back in transition, what does that look like for accountability? If you're sitting on the sideline because you got taken out the game to get a break, or because you got hurt, or because you just playing bad basketball at that time, are you sitting on the bench complaining with your head down, throwing a fit because you're not in the game? Or are you loud, cheering on your teammates, and you're showing them the support that they deserve? What does your body language look like? And how can you lock in with your body language after all the mistakes that you have made while you were on the court? If the coach gave you 2 minutes of playing time, and that's all he gave you a quarter was 2 minutes of playing time, that's 8 minutes of playing time in a full game. So if you got 8 minutes of playing time in a full game, and in those 8 minutes you had 8 turnovers, 4 fouls, no points, what do you think the coach is going to do? He's going to take you out the game because you are not producing and you are not positively helping the team control the game. You're giving the game away. So What does it look like to be held accountable by your teammates, by yourself, by your coach? Mm. So you have to set a standard from the beginning, and you got to live by that standard. And when you set that standard from the beginning, your team has to buy into that standard and that mindset and mentality. And if one person doesn't buy in, that person might be the bad apple. Or that person might just need another sit down to figure out where they are and how they fit in on this team. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to set the standard and set a high standard and then say, alrighty, you 11, this is the standard that you need to follow. And that 12th person says, well, I can't get up there. I'm struggling. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. But they're down here while everybody else is up here to that standard. If you are lenient of the standard that you set and let someone, in a sense, take advantage of your kindness, how do you think that looks to the rest of the team, to the crowd, to the referees, to the other team? It makes you look weak. It makes you look like the players are controlling the team and not you. So set that standard and have everyone buy into that standard, buy into that bigger picture. Your standard should be simple, clear, and to the point. A standard, for example, is sprinting on every possession. Every change of possession, you should be sprinting to the ball, beating your defender to the spots. Oh, excuse me. The other standard that you should look at is you should be talking on every defensive possession. You should be loud. When you're on defense and you're so loud that it echoes in the gym. You got to have that next play mentality no matter what. Whether you're down, whether you're up, whether you turn the ball over, whatever the case may be, you got to forget about what just happened and have that next play mentality. Move on to the next play. Push forward. Why? Because that's basketball. That's fundamental. And that's what we teach over here at Dogs Basketball. It's the fundamentals. The love of the game, to value the game, to value your teammates, to have that positive body language on the bench, to encourage each other, to be held accountable to the standard that is set. See, a lot of people, a lot of athletes in sports, when things don't go their way, they want to throw a fit, they want to complain because they are angry and they're not in the right mindset, and they say stuff that they probably don't mean, and then they get kicked off the team because they're being held accountable to a standard. And then when they look at this standard and it doesn't align with what they believe in, they start becoming more emotional because they thought that they were in a spot that they should have been in. In reality, it just wasn't going to work from the beginning. And so now that that coach is holding someone to a standard and that person gets mad that they're being held to a standard, they're going to try to start throwing people under the bus. And that's what you don't want. You don't want to have those people that are being held to a standard, and then you turn around and you don't hold those people to a standard. And then oh, well, this person did this and I just did the same thing, but he didn't get in trouble for it and I got in trouble for it. Oh man. And then the whole thing of, oh well, you might be racist, or oh that's just this, or that's just that. Like it just alleviate any trouble. Set a standard and stick to that standard. Coaches, I encourage you during the preseason, Come up with that team philosophy, that team standard, that team mentality. Your team got to come out with some kind of swag. And y'all have to buy into that mentality and that purpose and that mindset. And when everyone buys into the same mindset, just look at how powerful it is. It's like you can't pull nobody apart because everything is moving on all cylinders. Everything is starting to click and turn on its own. And then you don't have to worry about it. But on top of it all, you guys got to take that first step of being or having the courage to step out there on the court, on the field, in that arena, wherever it's at, to play a game, a sport that you love so much that millions of people watch across the entire world, or thousands of people that show up in person and watch it live. See, sports in general is a universal language. You can go anywhere in the world and meet somebody just by picking up a basketball, just by picking up a football, just by picking up a soccer ball, a baseball and baseball bat. And you can make change. You can make a difference. And it starts with you. You you can't go to someone and say, "Man, you just turned the ball over 3 possessions in a row." And then the very next quarter, you go and turn the ball over 3 possessions in a row. And then someone says, "Well, you just told that person you turned the ball over 3 times in a row, and then you just did the same thing." You're not practicing what you preach. You gotta have that dog mentality. Also, you gotta be approachable. A lot of times, what I realize is that athletes don't want to be approachable because they think they know it all. But why do you want to know everything? Is it really that important to be a know-it-all or a perfectionist when you play your sport? Like, I get it. You want to perfect your craft. You want to be at practice 2 hours before everyone else and leave 2 hours after everyone else, or whatever the case may be. But you got to give your body some rest, because if you don't give your body some rest, injuries happen, different things like that. But all of that happens when you go to practice. Practice. You talking practice? Practice. Man, AI. Great character. Great character. One of my favorite players of all time. We talking practice. We really talking practice now. Practice. Not the game that I love and die for, but practice. I'm the best player on the team, and we talk about practice. But he had a he had a swag that he carried with him that people followed after. People like Dwayne Wade that looked up to Allen Iverson because we were talking about practice and how Iverson came into the game with cornrows. And it was like nobody ever seen that happen before. And then you got people like Rip Hamilton wearing cornrows and different things like that. So like it's interesting because now when you look at a team It don't even have to be dogs basketball, but just look at a team. Look at how certain players are around others, and look at how these certain players are around these other players, or whatever the case may be. But everyone has their own style, their own approach. You got to find what your style is and what works best for you. And then that's how you start to build that philosophy. And then that's how you start to build that trust. That's how you start to build that accountability within your players and your team and your organization. And then from there is when you can start to talk about practice and holding people to the standard and holding people accountable. See, it's never going to be easy. A lot of people think it's easy because it was given to them, it was handed out to them. Prime example, Bronny James. Should have never gotten a contract in the NBA because he's not that good. But he got it handed to him. And I'm going to keep saying this to this day. But his younger brother, Bryce, is way better than him. Like, way better than him. But also, too, on a good note, is I want you guys to start keeping an eye out on social media in general. If you haven't already, go ahead and check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. We're just trying to build our social media presence as much as possible. We have some community events that we're working on right now. And then there's some merchandise that we're working on. And if you guys haven't already, check out our mental health merchandise that we got going on. It's a mental health hoodie. It's white with a like a aqua color blue, or whatever color aqua is, and it has like a, or even a teal maybe, but then with red as well, and it says like support mental health, and then it has the dog logo, and then under it says no dog fights alone. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sell as many mental health hoodies as possible to raise awareness for those who suffer from mental health illnesses. And that way, for every hoodie that's purchased, 25% of that proceeds will go to an organization that deals with mental health to help provide some type of resource for those that might not be able to afford it. And then we start to work on our regular hoodies that we got that are like a all black hoodie with the dog logo on it, or all red hoodie with the dog logo, or white hoodie with the dog logo, or even a gray hoodie with the dog logo. And so we're just building up different merchandise ideas right now. We got the t-shirts, the same thing, the dog logo, but black, white, gray, or red colorway of the t-shirt. And then on top of that, what we're trying to do as well is we are trying to build up our sponsorships, and we're trying to build up how we just go about doing business in general. We have a great person that has been doing our uniforms for us, but what I want to start doing is getting different ideas together to start building our pop-up store for our merchandise. So like I said, we got just the regular logo on the chest, on the front of the sweater, or front of the hoodie, or on the front of the t-shirt. But that's all we got right now. We do have some shorts though, by the way. We got like some swimming trunk style shorts, or we have some mesh style shorts as well. And those are pretty awesome. I really like the ones that I got. I got a pair all gray with the dog logo multiple times around the shorts. That's one of my favorites. I got an all red pair with the dog logo over the right knee, and then there's another pair where the dog logo is just over the front of the short or whatnot. And so I really enjoy making the merchandise myself, but now it's time for me to start getting creative and thinking outside the box. Another good thing that we're bringing to our merchandise is coffee tumblers. and I believe they're 16 ounces. And so it'll be a coffee tumbler with the dog logo on it, and under it, it might say like Dogs Basketball or something. But we've been working on our merchandise store and different ways to broaden in our pop-up store so that way we can um, give back to the community. One of the biggest things that I want to do within the team, and I said this before, is I want to start the Junior Dog Foundation and get that 501c3 status. That way I can start the youth sports when it comes to like youth basketball, youth volleyball, youth football, soccer, whatever it may be. Just start youth sports in the area and give them back to the community that way. And then I want to be able to, hopefully, if all goes well, by our own means of transportation, whether it's a coach bus or a school bus that was abandoned, and then we just repaint it and restructure it to where it's not yellow anymore, but maybe like a black or gray colorway. And then that way we can put the dog logo on the side and it'll say like Dogs Basketball or something like that. And it'll have on one side, maybe even on the windows, the social media accounts of the team, um, just some clever like that. So when we drive past people and they see Dogs Basketball, they want to know who's Dogs Basketball, what team is this, like what are they about, and then they can go to our social media and then look us up and check us out that way as well. So just some different marketing techniques that I'm looking into as well to help grow. We are building on a media team right now, so we are in the process of creating our very own media team. And the good thing about that is that the media team will be in a sense like an internship, but they're still going to be getting paid for it. And so they can perfect their craft, they can make the mistakes, learn from those mistakes, but they'll be working directly for the team, and it allowed them to take pictures with the equipment and just do different things that way to get that experience. So when they say, hey, like I want to apply to be a photographer or videographer for the 76ers or for the Eagles or for the Phillies or whatever it may be, but it gives them that exposure to do so. And so like there's a lot of good things in the works, and I'm excited for what's to come. And I want you guys to get excited with me and just jump on board and really pray and hope that we continue to get the support that we've been getting. You guys are helping us grow. You guys are showing us what it looks like and what it means to have a strong fan base and support system behind us 100% of the way. And so just think about it. Like there's a lot of good things that's coming out of what we're trying to do within this organization. And so I really hope that you guys can join us along for the journey and for the ride, because it's going to be a fun packed journey that's going to have you jumping out of your shoes if you ever get an opportunity to watch a game. Like I said, our games are electrifying. One of the most electrifying games we had this season, we were playing down in DC, and we were down. I think it was we were down 9 points with a minute left in the game, and we end up tying the game on a buzzer beater 3-point shot that was hit by one of the Dogs players to send us into overtime. And then we ended up losing into overtime, but it was electrifying. It was a good experience, and it helped us grow. It helped us to get to where we needed to be to continue to win. And now, as I said, we are ranked 25th in the nation of the American Basketball Association. And it is really all credit goes to the players and the coaching staff for just going out there every single day and working with the players, and the players hitting the weight room on their own and just doing different things to get them to where they need to be at today. See, dogs have an impact on each other, but they also have an impact on you and the community as well. And so I challenge you all to get to a dogs basketball game in person and see how electrifying it is in person. And if you can't make it in person, check us out live on YouTube and check us out live on Facebook as well. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to give you guys the rest of your night back. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I hope that you all have a great rest of the night and you all stay classy and stay blessed. Until next time, go dogs.